everybody, welcome to Big E Auto. I'm Big E. Welcome to the channel. Anyway, so today, something a little different. We're going to go ahead, since we sprayed a lot, and I did booger up the last paint job a little bit. I do a lot of wet sanding. A lot of that could be because this is dirty, your actual spray gun. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give a quick rundown how to tear it apart and how to clean it, or what I like to do is at this point, spraying, we already sprayed acetone through the gun. So we cleaned out the majority of the garbage, the residue that's left in there. And that would be fine, but from time to time, preferably when you're done with each paint job, take your gun apart. I have a container with acetone. I like to use acetone because it's strong. It's a real good cleaner. Paint thinner in my thing is just not strong enough. So I like to use acetone. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to change my camera angle here. I'm going to go ahead and take my gun apart, and we're just do a quick overview. So, as you can see, I have the gun here. I have my acetone here. So, there's a screen in here. This is where your canister screws on. Just to kind of give a visual. Your canister screws on here. Obviously, this is where your paint goes in. So when you take this apart, you have inside of here, you have a filter. So you want to try and see, this one should have been clean. Pop it out. Okay. So this is what it looks like. This pops out of here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's a plastic piece, has a screen. We got all kinds of nasty junk in there, as you can see. So what I'll do, I'll just drop that, let that soak. The longer it soaks, the more it's going to loosen that up. Now, so we have that. There's also junk inside there, which I have a brush. You can either use a gun cleaning brush, an engine cleaning brush set like I do. It's real stiff wire brush to go in there and kind of, I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of crap coming out, which could explain a lot why the last paint job didn't turn out as well. So you can clean that out. Now, compressed air would be good too. So now what we want to do is we want to take this here nozzle off. Because lots of times, and if we look in here, there is some junk in there. Some dried clear coat. And you have this here. So what I like to do too at this point is drop that in the acetone as well. My level's a little low, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put, you want to make sure that you have it, for the most part, 75% submerged, because you want that acetone to work where that hole is in the nozzle, to get, so that way it soaks in there and eats away all the varnish. Now you see here we have the gun itself. That, what we're going to do is we're going to have to clean out with like a rag or a brush with acetone on it. Your next thing you want to do, and be careful with your setting, you want to make sure you don't mess up your setting on your gun. Turn this out, okay? There's a spring, okay? Make sure you don't lose that. This is your actual needle that goes in, which controls your airflow and liquid flow. So what I like to do is I'll let that soak, preferably standing up if it's possible. So I'll let that soak. And in the meantime, what I'll do, and I have to see if I have a available rag. What I will do is I will take this rag, try and find a clean spot, obviously, and we'll splash some acetone on there enough to make it wet, and I'll just wipe around in here. Make sure that thing's got, it's good. What I might end up doing too is spraying acetone through it when we're done. But make sure any kind of residue, is out. We got the residue on it. It's hard to see here, but we got the residue that was in there. And if you look at that, it looks pretty clean there. So I think for the most part, this is pretty good. This is pretty much just a non-thing. So now what I'm going to do is, you know what? I want to revisit this here a little bit. Okay, so now what you might want to do, and you have to forgive me, I have to step off camera here. I'm going to get a needle nose. I was hoping for a straight one. My toolbox is completely disheveled, but we have a needle nose. You can use a straight one. I just have this because it's the first one I grabbed. So pull your needle valve out, the needle. Wipe that off, okay? And hold it up to the light. Now, I can see there's some spots that aren't that aren't, how should I say, they're not as clean as I would like. So what I'll do is I'll take some sandpaper. You can take Scotch-Brite too. You can take Scotch-Brite. I'll use like a 320 and just lightly. I mean, we're not sanding to the moon here, but clean that off. Wipe it off with the rag. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see with the camera, but that's clean. No residue on it. So then what you can do is carefully, and you want to line up with your, in here. I don't know, it's hard to see, but put that in. You want to line up with the hole that goes in there. I don't know, can you see that where I am right there? See that? Where the needle is? Carefully push that in all the way. And you're going to see it come out on this side. Now you can go ahead, reinstall your spring, reinstall your adjusting knob. Okay. Now that's clean. Now, our next tidbit will be the actual nozzle. So I'll go ahead and lift that out. There's a lot of residue here. So what I'll do, I'll take my rifle brush, and you can see, I don't know if it's hard to see on camera, but there is a lot of junk that just came off this thing. And you can see it hanging on there, all that junk. That is #1 enemy to your paint job. The saying, and I didn't know, like I said, I'm learning with you guys. I'm not really a body man or a paint person, so I'm each video I'm learning something new. One of the first things that I figured out was the old saying, cleanliness is godliness. That's kind of holds true here, because cleanliness will keep your paint job great. So now, I don't know if you can see there, not only is it shiny, but there's holes here, here. All your holes now are open, not clogged. So you should get a real nice airflow, and you should get nice atomization of the paint. So now we'll carefully put this on, and we'll tighten that, okay? So now the only thing we got left is the filter. So now we'll go fishing with the needle nose, and this is, of course, it's not going to come out, right? You guys did see me put it in there, right? So this thing is really going to give me the business, isn't it? Okay, so now I think I just saw it, but I think it fell. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I should probably clean this too. All right, guys, I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to dig that out, and then I'm going to show you what we can do to clean that. All right, guys, so I'm back here. So we got the piece out. I don't know if you can see how good that junk is still in there. So I'm taking a small screwdriver, and you can see the junk that's coming out of here. Very gently, because remember, that's a fine mesh screen. I mean, there's blue paint from the shop truck. A lot of clear, because clear leaves a residue. But you can see the crap that I'm getting out of that filter. So we want to make sure we get that out. There's another big glob of it. So Old E's not doing a good job here with being clean. So that's something I need to work on with future paint and just in general. So we got the globs out, the big ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to drop it in. I'm going to take it, I'm going to gingerly grab it with my needle nose. I'm just going to swoosh it around in here a little bit. And if you look at it, it does look fairly clean. I mean, there are some stains in there, but it does look like there's a little bit of residue here. Yeah. So that's a lot cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put that back in there like that. Okay, so that's in there now. Now another thing, if you want to do, you can put a little bit of acetone through the gun, or you could just, if this would actually suffice, because you got all that junk that was in there. In that screen, I didn't realize it was that bad, and that's my fault, and I take responsibility for that. It's probably why the shithawk wasn't turning out so good. Why I had the wet sand so much. Sorry guys, I'm sweating. We got a thunderstorm brewing, and it's humid as balls. But I wanted to show you that. That way, if you have a gun or you just touching up with stuff, you might already have a spray gun and have a routine, or you might be like me. Maybe you're like me. You're first getting into painting, and you're learning as you go or as you talk with people. So this is something that can greatly, just keeping this thing clean, can greatly affect your paint jobs. So just a tip. I mean, I'm at 13 and a half minutes. Maybe it's a long-winded tip, but a tip nonetheless, that keeping your gun clean will help your paint jobs, help to prevent orange peel, because you get better atomization, better airflow. So that's it for now. Like and subscribe, please, please, please. I really would like to get more subscribers. If you like what you see, subscribe. Any comments, any constructive comments, whatever that you can give that can help me out to become better, I would appreciate it. So that's it for now. Watch out for each other. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time right here on Big E's Auto. Bye for now.